Right, this is a CT2 size, section B, number 31. These two over here, the living things. This is the plant and fungi. Similarity, right? They both reproduce by spores. Okay, let's see, carry on. Now state the difference between the fern and the mushroom in the way they obtain food. The fern makes its own food, while the fungi, okay, or mushroom, mushroom absorb food from plants or animals, whether they're dead or alive. Let's go on to 32. Now this classification diagram, right? Fill in the blanks, okay, underneath here. So what you need to do, the same thing, gonna get it smaller. Okay, very important thing is to redefine yourself to make yourself understand better. Okay, over here, A is being described this way. The properties here break into pieces. Okay, when hit, or just say it's brittle. Okay, so what happens like this? This part breaks into pieces when hit. Okay, goes to A and goes to B. A is waterproof, B is not waterproof, right? So here, this is not brittle. It means it won't be broken when hit. So C over here is not brittle, with D. Waterproof over here, not waterproof over here. C is likely to be a metal key. It cannot be broken easily once hit, and is also waterproof. A is likely to be glass. Okay, brittle. Yes, glass is waterproof. We're used to store water inside. And D is likely to be a sport t-shirt. All right. You drop your t-shirt or you hit it, it won't break. And it is not waterproof because it can absorb water and absorb your sweat. All right, let's carry on. Now over here, this lady here, she's want to find out if plant absorb water through its roots. So what she does was a plant with roots, without root, correct? Same size container, everything the same, air, right? The food where it has leaves for food and the water provided. All right, note the level of water here. Water level is the same. There's another thing over here, F, okay, for a purpose, okay, for this whole setup. So let's take a look, right? Put a tick, okay, at the boxes for the variables that should be kept the same for setup D and E. Okay, now plants with the same plants part, no. Okay, there won't be a tick here because one of them must have root and the other plant part, this one, they don't have root. It means you just cannot have both the same type, right? Because we're testing whether roots do absorb water. All right, whether this water level will go down after a while and this one will not go down that much. Okay, now next, these got to be kept the same. 1 tick, 2 tick, 3 ticks, right? Amount of water must be the same, amount of sunlight, and the type of plant. Okay, now let's go to the next one. How does having set up F help her in conclusion? Okay, let's see. It means by just having this two, right, will it be enough? Why must she have this F over here without the plant? Now over here is very simple. All they need in the experiments is like this, right? They'll make sure that if the roots is here and the plant with the roots, and this water level will go down because the plant absorb water. This one, you will expect it not to absorb water. And over here, nothing happens, just to show the water level is the same throughout. Okay, right? That this plant has absorbed the water, and even though I don't put anything here, the water level does not move. Okay, this water level should be the same as this. All right. Now, let me read the answers and hope you are able to absorb slowly. Now, setup F, which is the one over there on top, is used as a control to compare with the setup of D and E. Okay, it is to confirm if the results are accurate or correct. Okay, when the water level falls here, and the water level here must also sometimes it will fall, not because of absorption, because of evaporation. So the rate of evaporation for E and F will be the same. Right? Watch out. It means after maybe a few hours or maybe after a day, this water level here would fall a little because of evaporation, and this will fall at the same time. Okay? Now, it is good because if what happens, there is no F and E is just there, and the water level goes down a little, right? And some may conclude, yes, look, this one has no roots. No, this has roots, this has no roots. This absorbs more water, this absorbs a little water because the water level has gone down. Now, to put F over here is just to demonstrate, okay, that no matter what you do, you keep on testing it over and over again, the water level in F and E will go down at the same rate due to evaporation, but not because the plant is there and the plant absorbs the water. Okay, so it is a sort of control to show that even if I put this plant without roots, when the water level goes down, it does not show that the plant is absorbing or has absorbed the water, okay, through its stems or so, right? Because this water level will go down due to evaporation too. So it is sort of control, right? Just read over and over again. Maybe during other time we just talk about it, right? Now, she noticed that the plant is set up E dried up, okay, after 2 days. Okay, this plant over here, the plant, not the water here, but the plant here dried up. All right, it just simply shows that it did not absorb water, therefore it is dried up here. Now, what is she trying to conclude? Right, she concluded that there is not enough leaves for the plant to make food. Is her conclusion correct? No, her conclusion is not correct. It is not because of the leaves, all right, not enough leaves to make food, but it's because of there is no root, all right, or enough root to help the water to absorb. Now, so plant in E did not have roots to absorb water. That is the reason, but not because it has enough leaves or not enough leaves affecting the water level. Right? These are just simple answers like this, and we can and continue to talk about it in clearer form, all right, sometimes during other lessons. Let's continue. This classification is very, very straightforward. Life cycle looks like parents, does not look like parents. All right, that's the answer. No explanation needed. Next, Nuru wanted to find out if plants need water to grow. She carried out an experiment using a seedling over here, twirling around the pin, okay, onto the styrofoam cube. This is a styrofoam cube. She poked the pin there, and this thing stands here. Right, and there's some cotton wool below here with water, not at the styrofoam but here. Okay, so she set up this little experiment like this. This part is dry cotton wool and this part is wet cotton wool. All right, now after 5 days, what could she observe? I mean, it means what would you expect? Okay, the root will grow towards moist cotton wool because of water. All right, it will grow towards the water in this cotton wool, but not here. There is no water here. All right, so it grows towards the moist cotton wool. Now, what conclusion was she most likely to make from her observation at the end of 5 days? Okay, after the end of 5 days, what can she conclude? All right, so at the end of 5 days, she's expected to see the roots growing towards the side, towards the water. She can safely conclude that plant needs water to grow, to survive. That is why it's heading towards the water. Now, over here, when seedling grows, part X change its size. What is part X? Part X, let's take a look. It means the roots. When this whole thing grows, this one will have its size bigger in terms of volume, in terms of the size. It means there are more roots. It could be heavier and it occupies more space. Okay, that's what it means. Right, let's carry on. So, in the diagram below, draw a line showing the relationship between the mass of the plant X and the seedling is growing the adult plant. Number of days image shows that the plant is growing. As it is growing, the mass of the roots should be growing. Alright, so the graph follows this way, higher this way. Okay, it is heavier, it has more volume. Why? Because it has more roots, larger roots, and the weight is heavier. Right, so as time goes by, larger and heavier. Now this is interesting. Note that they have the same size, 4 liters, 4 liters, 4 liters. Okay, first one you push, okay, cotton wool inside. All right, okay, this one air and this one water put inside. Now 6 liters of air, we're talking about this. 6 liters of air will pump the container K, container J, and container L will fill to the brim. One of them, this is with cotton wool, and this is water. Over here is water. Write the possible volume. Now they're asking for you the size. What do you think the sizes are inside? Okay, of the cotton wool, of the air, and of water. What do you think the size is inside here, here, and here? For this case, 6 liters of air is being pumped. But this one you just shove the cotton wool inside, and this one is you just fill the water to the top. Okay, the cotton wool also all the way to the top. Now, what could the volume of cotton wool in this J be? Okay, it should be somewhere between 3 and 4 liters, or even up to 4 liters, depending on how you shove the cotton wool inside. Okay, and why is it 3 or lesser volume of cotton wool? Because some part of the cotton wool is being filled with air. All right, you cannot really totally do that. But when you answer, if you put 4, we still accept it, because there is a possibility that you might just squeeze everything out. All right, volume of air, no matter what kind of air, how much air you pump into 4 liters. Okay, the volume, the space occupied will still remain as 4 liters. Just remember that. Why? Because air compresses to take the volume of the container. Volume water, because water has definite volume. Okay, water has definite volume. It will remain 4 when it is fully filled, 4 liters. That's interesting, right? Now for the answers in this, number 2, what can you say about properties of air? Air can be compressed. Let's carry on. Now these 2, one of them with hole, without hole. This is being placed down this way. When it's being placed down this way, the air escape, water rush in, and remember the water level will reach up to here only. The same water level it has. Okay, somehow, right? But for this case, if you put straight in without any hole, the air could not escape, right? The water will start pushing in itself, but the air will just compress a little, all right, depending on the force of the water. But I don't think much water will come out here, okay? And the air occupies fully the space. It will not allow any water to come in. So one of the properties of metal, okay, for example, air, it has weight, it occupies space. This is what it means. That's why it did not allow the water to come in. All right, just a little bit could come in because air compressed, allowing a little of the water to enter the cup. Now let's take a look. This is how you should learn how to explain like this. Explain your observation of water level in both cups. Cup A, right? I'll leave this for you to copy down your corrections, but I'll just read. In cup A, water could enter the cup as air over here, right? As the air could escape, all right? So the air escaped, the water comes in, all right? Through the hole, they escape through the hole, allowing the water to take up or occupy the space, some of the space, the air, right? At first, air was inside the whole cup. When you lower this down, water comes in because air went out, all right? Now next, in cup B, the air inside the compress. Air inside is compressed a little and could not escape, stay there. There's no hole for it to run. That did not allow, okay? For that, it means because it stays inside, it did not allow the water to get further into the cup. Let's carry on. This is skeleton structure of the human body, right? The skull, this is a skull over here, protects, okay, usually the brain, right? The main part is the brain, not so much of the eye socket, right? Not so much of the eyes or the mouth and tongue, okay? All right, if you open up your mouth or something, you jab into your mouth, you injure yourself, but it protects the brain, all right, as much as it can. So the skull protects the brain, the rib cage, which is over here, this two thing here, the rib cage, let me lower a bit, this part where the lungs and the heart is inside. Lungs over here, the heart here. Of course, the stomach is somewhere here. Small intestine, large intestine around here. These are not being protected because the exposed, not being protected by the bones. All right. So the rib cage protects only the lungs and heart. Now this skeletal system and the muscular system, right? This is standard answer. Work together to enable body to move around. Okay. Next. Right, Mohan classified the body system shown here. A breaks down food into simple substance. Definitely this is digestive. Now over here, it carries food. When you see food, remember, don't be caught and say that it's something to do with digestive system, right? So it carries food, not only that, water, all right? Digestive system has food and water, but look at this. Oxygen. The digestive system does not carry oxygen, right? But what system carries all these to all parts of the body? Okay, now this is definitely the circulatory system, right? Oxygen, food, water needed all around the body. This one takes in air and remove air from the body. Takes in air, this is a respiratory. Now over here, mixes and softens the food into the ball to be swallowed. Alright, into a ball to be swallowed. Now over here, it asks you which system. Alright, look, body system. A, B, C, D must be system. They're not asking which organ. Now some of you are tricked when you see mixes soft food in the body to be swallowed. You say this is a mouth. The three of them, you answer system, and you answer this as organ. That is wrong. Where do you find such an action here? Such an action here is found in the digestive system, in the mouth, right? Mouth belongs to the digestive system, right? So this is the answer. Now probably I just make it clearer to you about the body. Now in your body, this whole thing is your organ. Okay, for example, it can be a heart, liver, organ like lungs, and so on. All right, even your gutlet is an organ. Now your organs are made of tissue, right? Tissue means a certain part of the cells that look alike joined together to form the organ. Okay, now tissues are made of small little cells that join together to form tissue. These tissue join together to form the shape of the organ, of the heart, and so on. Now, a few organs, for example, 1, 2, 3 organs, when they are joined, they are working together. Okay, they work like a system. For example, mouth, stomach, the intestine, they work together as a system, right? Inside each organ, they're made of tissue and cells. Let's carry on. Okay, whenever you have pictures like this, please have the habit of naming them and make sure you get the spelling right. All right, I believe some of you might not know this. Most of the time you say it's gutlet, right? But right, the actual name, the more scientific, sophisticated name should be esophagus. Okay, you pronounce the E, esophagus. All right, the gutlet, right? The stomach, small intestine, and the large intestine. Question asked here, which part of the digestive system does digestion occur? So it occurs in the mouth, stomach, and intestine. A, C, D. Right? All must be written down. One missing, marks will be deducted. Right. Can the body still digest food if part E of the digestive system is missing? Right, we are talking about E, the large intestine. If this is missing, just theoretically, right? Let me tell you, any part of the organ is missing, sometimes you will fall sick and you may even die. All right, but let's say for this case, right? To answer the question technically, if it's missing, it doesn't matter because the large intestine does not, all right, does not involve itself in digestion. All right, so the body will still continue to digest food because digestion ends at T, which is the small intestine. Digestion, that's how you answer, does not take place in E. Okay, just like that. All right, you must know that there's no digestion taking in place in large intestine. Even you remove it, the body will still digest, right? Let's carry on. Now this is interesting. Soil over here, one rope. Okay, but this rope is absorbent, right? It means it's able to absorb water upwards, okay, and to get the water up into the soil. This has no water. It's a fair test because every of the setup is the same. It is just to say that the string able to absorb water to allow the plant to have water. Now, for this case, the plant will have air, food, and water to grow, right? But setup B will have no water, although it should be able to make some food, and it has air. Okay, but without water, it may not last, or it will not last for long. Okay, now what is Sivaram trying to find out in the above experiment? Very simple, with water, without water. So we just find out if plant needs water to survive. Okay, nothing to do with whether the string can absorb water. All right, okay. Next, let's carry on. Now, explain why Sivaram must place both setups in the garden and not in the dark room. Now, to make this experiment successful, you must give air, food, and water. Now, food, it will make by itself, right? So you have to provide sunlight for both, so that both can start living, making use of water, producing food, and continue to grow. right? The test is on water, so please allow light to come in, right? So you can't put it in a dark room because plant needs sunlight to grow and to make food, okay? To make food or to grow, right? So you need that part to show that whether it grows or not, right? The test is on whether water is needed, okay? Whether with or without water, the sun will, the plant, whether the plant will grow or not, but sunlight is needed to be fair for both plants. Now after 20 days, Sarah measured the height of the plant in setup A and B, okay? This means that the height goes up. This means that probably it goes down, it withers, and it probably die after a while. This shows that this is definitely a plant with water. This is plant without water. Now, given air, food, and air and food, okay, air and food, and one with water, one without water, right? Fair, air and food given. So, setup A after 20 days. Explain your answer. This one represents setup A is growing because plant has air, food, and water to grow. It has air, food, and water, right? It will grow. But because plant B does not have one element, now remember, every living thing needs 3 of this: air, food, and water to grow. Given air and food, but without water, later on, the plant will not be able to transport the food it makes from the leaves, and it will not continue to grow. It will become weak and it will wither. Its height will reduce and it will die eventually. Okay, why? Because it won't be able to help the plant to transport food through water. All right, because there's no water, you can't transport food, can't transport water for the plant. Now David put these 3 types of soil, X, Y, and Z, on these 3 identical funnels. These are called funnels. You put over here. The soil will not really drop because it's big enough. It will not fall into the hole easily because it's quite big. The soil is quite thick and big. But these soils are different. Okay, different type of soil. Now, the first, all of them given fair test, same size, same funnel. Okay, and this is a measuring cylinder. Okay, now, same amount of water is dropped into the funnel. All right, and for this one, 10 milliliters. 40 milliliters here drop inside, 10 milliliters gone through, and the rest are being absorbed here. For this case, more of the water, 5 milliliters being absorbed, 35 milliliters drop here. And this one over here, only 2 milliliters, all right? 2 milliliters fell, and the other one, the rest must have been absorbed through soil Z. Okay, now question asked, okay, this data over here are these 10, 35, 2. This is what it means. Which type of soil, X, Y, Z, allows water to flow through the easiest? This one, because most water gone through, right? For this, they don't really, and this not so much at all, because most of the water stuck here, it not flow through easily. For this, it flow through easily. So, which type of soil would absorb most water? Soil Z here. Okay, now 2 means the water here drop onto the cylinder, only 2 milliliters, but the rest are being absorbed up here. Next. Now, David repeated his experiment a few more times using the same, watch out, the same setup and soil samples. Means he did not change to dry ones. Okay, watch this, right? It did not change to dry ones. So he uses immediately, it means he kept pouring water on soil, onto soil X, Y, and Z. Okay, right? Immediately means he doesn't change the soil. Now, would this experiment be a fair test? Okay, it would not be a fair test. The soils would already have different amount of water inside. Can you see here? So immediately after this, all right, you continue to pour water. Okay, first it's already wet. All right, you can't use the same soil. You have to change a new soil Z, new soil Y, and new soil X inside. Right? Once you have water inside, it's not a fair test. All must be dry. Okay, then it would be a fair test. So when he used it immediately without changing anything, right, it will not be a fair test. They all might not be able to absorb any more water. Okay, hope you understand that. Now for this case, remember, watch the line. As the line, some of you drew the shadow which is same size as this, which is not correct. You should continue drawing the line touching the top, the line touching the bottom, and the shadow, the shape of the ball, a circular shape, and please draw the shades. Okay, draw the line that to show that this is a shadow. All right, do not leave it empty. Next, without moving the screen or changing the setup, okay, don't change. Okay, don't move this part. Don't move this part over here. Suggest a way to reduce the size of the shadow. Okay, two ways. First, move the ball nearer to the screen. Move the ball. Okay, don't move the screen. Move the ball nearer the screen. The shadow will be smaller. Okay, or you leave the ball here. The second part, move the light source away from the ball. So look here, over here. The second step is to, or the second method is to move the torchlight away. Okay, and this ball, the shadow will be smaller than this. All right. Now state what could be observed on the screen if the basketball was replaced, okay, with a glass ball of the same size. Give a reason of your answer. Now, the better answer would be the shadow will become a lighter shadow, right? Why? Because a ball is made out, although it's made out of glass, right? Maybe just imagine this part now. This part over here, okay, it has, the glass has some metal, the glass has some substance over here. The light goes through here, it will reduce the amount of light going through to this part, and you even more reduce further because there are two layers, right? Two layers, and it could have a lighter shadow than this. Right? This is the better answer, right? But because if you are saying that the glass ball is totally transparent, okay, totally transparent, glass is totally transparent, then very likely you may say that there's no shadow at all, right? Based on the fact that you say it's totally transparent. Okay, as all light, okay, totally pass through the ball, okay, this transparent ball, therefore there should not be any shadow. All right, this is not a real answer, but not very good answer. However, if any one of you do that because you stated the word transparent and the light is able to pass through totally, then it should prove that it is, the shadow should not even exist. All right, now over here, experiment, torchlight, material shining through. Okay, here means material A allows light to, the most light to shine through, and it is more transparent than the other two. This one a little, okay, this is more towards translucent, and this is definitely opaque because it does not allow any light to pass through. Therefore there's no reading from the light sensor. It says 0. C is most likely opaque, and definitely B is translucent because it's in between, right? Not all light pass through. And A most likely, right? Most likely transparent, more transparent than that. Okay, it may not be totally transparent. All right, depending on the light source. Okay, if this light source gives out 200 lux, okay, it just give out 200 lux. Here should read 200 lux if here is totally transparent. Now let's go on. So which is which? Cardboard is C. Translucent frosted glass, okay, right, it is B, and transparent is A. Right, that's the end of the paper. Take your time, look through again the paper. All right, you may not understand things, just consult me directly. All right, thank you very much. Hope you get your corrections done properly.